In March 1966, the last Studebaker rolled off an assembly line in Canada. In 2010, the last Pontiac became a rental car in Idaho. Every car brand that ever existed built one final vehicle. Brands that gave us the GTO, the Barracuda, the Trans Am, and the Rocket V8. One last car rolled off one last assembly line, and then the lights went dark and the workers went home. Some of those final cars were saved by collectors, some were sent to rental fleets, and some disappeared entirely. Between 1960 and 2010, America lost 10 major automotive brands, and the stories of their final vehicles tell you more about what went wrong in Detroit than any corporate earnings report ever could. These are the last cars off every dead assembly line in America, and what happened to each one after the factory doors closed for good. Studebaker, 1966. Studebaker started as a blacksmith shop in South Bend, Indiana in 1852, building wagons for farmers and the United States military. The company made its first gasoline-powered car in 1904 and spent the next 6 decades building a reputation for quality and durability. But the 1954 merger with Packard, intended to save both struggling independent automakers, instead drained Studebaker's resources. By 1963, the company was losing money so fast that it closed its South Bend factory and moved all production to a smaller plant in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. The Hamilton plant could only build about 96 cars per day, and the company had to source its engines from General Motors of Canada because it could no longer afford to build its own. The workers in Hamilton called the cars Chevy Bakers. On March 17, 1966, the last Studebaker rolled off the line, a Timberline turquoise cruiser sedan with a Chevrolet 283 cubic inch V8 under the hood. 700 workers lost their jobs that day. The final car was trucked away under a banner that read, "More Studebakers from Hamilton for the world." That cruiser now sits fully restored in the Studebaker National Museum in South Bend, Indiana, 500 miles from the Canadian factory where it was built. Desoto, 1960. Walter Chrysler launched Desoto in 1928 and named it after the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto. The brand peaked at over 191,000 units sold in 1951 and 1952, but by the late 1950s, Desoto was being squeezed from both sides. Dodge was pushing upward into Desoto's price range, and Chrysler was pushing downward with the cheaper Newport model. By 1960, Desoto sales had collapsed to just 26,000 cars. Chrysler announced the brand's termination on November 18, 1960, via a terse telegram sent to dealers, just 47 days after introducing the 1961 models. The company kept building cars until November 30th to use up remaining parts in its warehouses, producing only 3,034 vehicles for the 1961 model year before the Jefferson Avenue plant in Detroit went silent. The last Desoto was a turquoise and white 2-door hardtop with a 361 cubic inch V8, producing 265 horsepower. For decades, nobody knew what happened to it. Around 2002, a Desoto enthusiast named Dean Mullinax started compiling a registry of every surviving 1961 Desoto, and the closest car to the final production unit was found on eBay in 2011 in Texas, half sunk into the ground and almost forgotten. It was sold to a buyer who may not have realized what they purchased, and it has not been seen since. American Motors Corporation, AMC, was the last independent automaker in Detroit. Founded in 1954 from the merger of Nash and Hudson, American Motors introduced the Rambler, the Gremlin, and the Pacer, cars that defined quirky American design. But by the 1980s, American Motors was bleeding cash and desperately needed Chrysler's deep pockets to survive. Lee Iacocca bought American Motors in 1987, not for its cars, but for the Jeep brand. The final American Motors vehicle was an Eagle wagon that rolled off the Kenosha, Wisconsin assembly line in December 1987. Most American Motors employees were transferred to Jeep production or laid off. The final Eagle disappeared into the used car market, just another station wagon in a decade full of them. Plymouth, 2001. Plymouth was once the third best-selling car brand in America, behind only Ford and Chevrolet. The brand gave the world the Roadrunner, the GTX, the Barracuda, and the Hemi-Cuda, some of the most valuable muscle cars ever built. By the late 1990s, Plymouth had been reduced to rebadged Chrysler products with almost no unique identity. Daimler Chrysler quietly discontinued the brand in 2001 with no special edition models and no public ceremony. The last Plymouth was a neon that rolled off the assembly line at the Belvidere, Illinois plant. Darrell Davis, then the senior vice president of parts and service at Daimler Chrysler, wanted the final Plymouth to be a prowler, the retro hot rod that was one of the few interesting cars the brand still made. Davis saved it anyway. He took the last Plymouth into his personal collection because he believed it represented a piece of automotive history worth preserving, even if the car itself was a $15,000 economy sedan that shared almost every component with the Dodge Neon sitting next to it on the same assembly line. Oldsmobile, 2004. Oldsmobile was the oldest surviving automotive brand in America when General Motors terminated the marquee. R.E. Olds founded the company in Lansing, Michigan in 1897, 7 years before Henry Ford built his first Model T. Over its 107-year history, Oldsmobile produced more than 35.2 million vehicles and pioneered chrome-plated trim, the Toronado's front-wheel drive system, and the Rocket V8 engine that helped define post-war American performance. Unlike most brands on this list, Oldsmobile got a proper farewell. General Motors announced the shutdown years in advance and released final 500 edition versions of the Intrigue, Aurora, Bravada, Silhouette, and Alero. The very last Oldsmobile, a dark cherry metallic 2004 Alero GLS, rolled off the assembly line at the Lansing Car Assembly Plant as employees watched and signed their names inside the hood. The car was sent to the R.E. Olds Transportation Museum in Lansing, then transferred to the General Motors Heritage Center in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and eventually sold into private hands. Of every brand on this list, Oldsmobile is the only one that received what you could call a dignified ending. Saturn, 2009. General Motors created Saturn in 1985 as a clean-sheet brand with its own factory, its own dealer network, and its own no-haggle pricing model. The company built its first car in 1990 at a dedicated plant in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and for a brief window in the early 1990s, Saturn owners loved the brand so much they actually held homecoming events at the factory. General Motors spent an estimated $7 billion to $12 billion on Saturn across its lifespan and never figured out how to make it profitable. When General Motors declared bankruptcy in 2009, Saturn was one of 4 brands designated for termination alongside Pontiac, Hummer, and Saab. Roger Penske tried to buy Saturn and keep it alive by sourcing vehicles from a Chinese manufacturer called Youngman Auto, but the deal collapsed when Youngman withdrew. General Motors pulled the plug on October 1st, 2009. There was no final edition, no ceremony, and no cameras. All remaining 2010 model year Saturns were sold to rental car companies. The identity of the last Saturn ever built is unknown. Hummer, 2010. AM General designed the high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle for the United States military in the 1980s. And Arnold Schwarzenegger personally lobbied the company to build a civilian version after seeing them during Gulf War coverage. General Motors bought the brand in 1999 and added the smaller H2 and H3 to the lineup. When General Motors declared bankruptcy, Hummer was cut. The last Hummer built is believed to be a black H3T, the pickup truck version of the smaller Colorado-based H3. Its final trip down the assembly line was broadcast live on NBC's Today Show. General Motors later brought the Hummer name back in 2022 as a sub-brand of GMC for an all-electric pickup truck, meaning Hummer is technically the only brand on this list that returned from the grave, even if the new version shares nothing with the original except the name and an obsession with being the largest vehicle in any parking lot. Mercury, 2011. Ford created Mercury in 1939 to fill the price gap between Ford and Lincoln. For decades, the brand offered slightly upscale versions of Ford vehicles, with minor styling differences and better interiors. By 2010, Mercury held just 1% of the American car market and moved only 93,000 vehicles. Ford announced the brand's termination to focus on Ford and Lincoln. The final Mercury was a 2011 Grand Marquis, part of a fleet order, fitted with an Ultimate Edition badge. The car's current location is unknown. The Grand Marquis was the last model standing for Mercury, and fittingly, it was the same car that had been the last new vehicle purchase for many of Mercury's aging customers for years. Pontiac, 2010. Pontiac is the brand that hurts the most. The company that invented the muscle car with the 1964 GTO that built the Firebird Trans Am, that was finally turning a corner in the mid-2000s with the Australian-built G8 GXP and the gorgeous Solstice Roadster, was terminated as a condition of General Motors' $53 billion government bailout through TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program. The brand that General Motors originally planned to keep as its performance division was instead sacrificed to satisfy congressional requirements and United Auto Workers' pension obligations. The last Pontiac was a white 2010 G6 with a 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, built at the Orion Township Assembly Line in January 2010 and specified for fleet use. It was shipped to Avis in Boise, Idaho, and used as an airport rental car. Two earlier cars, believed to be the final Pontiacs, were both totaled in crashes and sold at auction for under $500. The actual last Pontiac, identified by V1N ending in 963, was tracked down by Tim Dye, executive director of the Pontiac Transportation Museum in Pontiac, Michigan. The car had been purchased by an 82-year-old woman in Scott City, Kansas, who drove it as her daily car and had no idea she owned the last Pontiac ever made. After months of negotiation, the museum acquired the car. Under the trunk lining, they found the signatures of the Orion Township Assembly Line workers who built it, a farewell message from the people who built the last car to wear Pontiac's red badge. The brand that started the muscle car era ended as a rental car in Idaho, and its final act of dignity came from assembly workers who signed their names where nobody was supposed to look.